Hey guys, Furum here, and today I am going to be showing you me using the Aston Martin Vulcan in multiplayer. If you haven't seen the video I made about purchasing the Aston Martin Vulcan, go check it out. It gives a lot of useful information about the car. So I've been using the Vulcan in multiplayer for a few days now, and I really like it. My favorite multiplayer car. So I'm going to show you my tuning now. Currently, my Vulcan is at rank 1632. I may tune it up from here, I am not sure. So my tuning right now is 2503, so nothing on handling. It already handles really well. And 5054 in Pro Kits. Now I could do exhaust, and that I might. That would increase the rank by another 10. So I don't know if I want to do that yet. So now I'm going to show you a few races of me playing the Vulcan at this rank. Now, this first one is kind of an example of what not to do. So, I'm running single tank, and I triple tapped at the beginning. This is a bad idea because you'll run out of nitro really fast, as you will see soon. It's already down quite far. And then what will happen is the other Vulcans that are behind you will catch up and pass you like those two just did. Also, make sure you know how your car drifts, otherwise something like this may happen. I had not practiced in this car much, and I was used to my Hommages bad drifting. So, yes, make sure you learn the car before you use it in multiplayer in a ticketed race. The first time you leave the race in one day, you lose 2 rating, the second time 7 rating, and then 10 rating for the third time and beyond. So after practicing a little more, I decided to do some more multiplayer. Here is a race against an MP48, which just passed me, an MP425, which just tried to knock me down, but didn't, and a Hommage, which is back there. So, yes, it makes it around the corners really well, especially without any handling upgrades. It kind of makes me not want to max pro it, or not do many handling upgrades because of that, because it'll be really twitchy and take care of the corners way too much. So here I drifted too far to the left and tried to go to the right, and wrecked because of that. So now these are ahead of me, but now you will get to see what the power of the Vulcan is. See, the MP425 and MP48 are slow enough that I'm going to be able to pass them even before the first lap ends. See, even when I took the long way. So now I'm past them, and the Homage is still up there for me to catch. Now, my Vulcan goes around 6 or 7 miles per hour slower than my Homage, but the Vulcan has better drifting, acceleration, nitro efficiency. So that Homage just wrecked at the exact same place I wrecked on the first lap. And since it has bad acceleration, goodbye Homage. So now we are technically even, since we both wrecked at the same spot. And even though the Homage back there is slightly faster, the end of the race is actually very soon, so he will not be able to catch up. And I took the shortcut this time. If I didn't, he'd probably catch up, and that barrel roll was too high. But can't get everything perfect in multiplayer. So here we go. Finished, beat the Homage, and let's see what rank he was. So he was a little lower rank, but he was in champion, so that gives me a nice rating boost. So this race will show you the power of the Vulcan when you get knocked down on one lap on a short and twisty track. Now, I believe this right here that I'm going to do is the best route through this hangar section here. It's probably the most direct, and then you can get on the ship here, and I just knocked that guy down. San Diego Harbor is one track where the Vulcan definitely has superiority over the Homage because it has better acceleration handling needed to get around those corners. So already I've caught up to the MP48s. They are giving me quite a hard time. I was afraid he was going to knock me down right there, but thankfully not. A lot of times, if you land on an F1 car, he will knock you down instead of you knock downing him, so don't land on an MP48 or MP425. They will likely knock you down, and you won't knock them down. And yes, the Vulcan took that corner much better than the Homage did. So this is complete now, and let's see what all we beat. I think the reason the Vulcan is so good is because it's so well balanced and can compete on any track pretty much. So there were 2 MP48s and a Cigaris. Now this is a race against 2 Homages on a longer track. It's a little bit twisty, so that is where Homage may have a downfall. The Vulcan can take these S-curves a lot better than the Homage can, even though he already caught up and tried to knock me down. I think he is probably higher ranked here. But yes, Vulcan can get around without slowing down as much, which is important. Not just better handling, better acceleration to get up to speed better after going around the corner. Now don't get me wrong, I still like my Homage, it's just the Vulcan is easier to drive, and because of that, I make fewer mistakes in it after I learn it, and therefore it gives me more wins, which will probably happen to most people driving it. Now, the Homage will beat the Vulcan on long tracks, such as Tokyo, Tokyo Reverse, and Barcelona. Those are the tracks where I usually beat Vulcans in my homage. But I always found that the one car I usually could not beat in my homage was the Vulcan. Hence me getting it. Okay, so up here, I don't know exactly what happened or why I wrecked like that, but this allowed the two homages to get ahead of me. Now you will see up here these S-curves will come in handy yet again, and the Vulcan's superior handling will come in handy. Handling and handy, that's interesting. So yes, the homage, as you can see, slows down around the corners and has a wider drifting radius. So I was able to, and he tried to knock me down again. I was able to get by him then. That same homage was the same one that tried to knock me down earlier. I think the homages really have it in for the Vulcans because they've gotten beat by them so often. But as you can see from this race, if I'm in a Vulcan and I make any mistakes, the homages will just swarm all over me and catch up. So yes. And if a homage gets ahead of a Vulcan, Vulcan can usually not catch up unless the homage can't make it around the corners as well. So here we go. Finished, beat one homage, but lost to another one. However, he was in champion, so I still went up a good amount. Now that you see that V8 guy, I face him again in this next race in Venice, and he has upgraded a little bit more from what I can recall. So you see him up there, that yellow homage, and he saw his said V8 times a million, or not quite that much, but a lot above his head. So yes, Vulcan, again, with his drifting, gets around these corners quite well, and a skid made me wreck right in the middle there. Now, one reason I want to show you these videos where I wreck in them, and it's just one lap, I want to show you that just because you wreck doesn't mean you give up, doesn't mean you leave. And if you get knocked down at the beginning, it doesn't mean you leave. Many times the people in front will wreck as well, or you will be able to catch up to them. So, yes, I'd say, unless you're way, way behind and you know you're not going to catch up, don't leave until close to the end of the race. Because anything can happen. I mean, the person in front could wreck, like the homage just did, and now I am ahead of him again. So never give up just because of one fail. I believe the Vulcan is probably the easiest car in the game to reach Champion League in. So if you get it, you'll most likely be able to get there. Now, I, after recording this video, have made it to Champion League, and tomorrow I will be uploading a video of that with my 5 or 6 successive races leading up to the time when I got to Champion League, so keep an eye out for that. So let's see what these cars were. Now, that V8 guy upgraded to exactly my rank since that last time I saw him. Kind of funny. So now, again, on a track that is on Patagonia, is very popular because it's new, and as you could see, there was another Vulcan back there. I did not realize there was another Vulcan in this race when I was doing the race. So, otherwise I probably would have been a little more nervous. By the way, if you would like to learn how to save up tokens to buy this car without spending any money on the game, like me, I have talked about that in my video of purchasing the Vulcan. Pretty much, save up all the tokens you get and don't spend any, and do championships and do well in events, but I go into that in more detail on the other one. So, that guy right behind me, again, is the Vulcan that, I think it was green at the beginning. This is an interesting test between the two routes up here. I go right, but the other Vulcan driver goes left. So, now we can see which one is actually better. What I found is if you're in a car that drifts well, like this one, go right. But if you're in a car that does not drift well, like the homage, go left. The main problem with that other route is the big jump at the end that causes you to lose a lot of speed, as what just happened to him. So I cut out the second lap of that race, and now I finished, because basically the same thing happened as what happened on the first lap. He took the left route, I took the right route. So now we will see what his rank was. He was a 1636 in champion. Now I do want to warn you, if you come up against a Vulcan that is much higher than you, it will be extremely hard to beat him. Higher ranked Vulcans are one of the only things that I fear in mine, and I fear them a lot. So here, more evidence of the Vulcan's superior drifting. I really like it. It is actually, I believe, the only really overpowered car in the game that actually has good acceleration and drifting. So it is very fun to drive. I hope you guys can get it as well. So, again, I cut out the second lap because not much happened. And I am now finished. Now, this race, there wasn't really much there. Now, this is what happens when you come up against not many people and when they're not really high ranked. But still, be thankful for any rating gains because they're easy to lose as well. Now I'm going to show you some pictures of races that I forgot to record. In this one, I beat a pro'd MP425, and in this one, I beat 2 higher ranked Hommages and an MP425, and the Vulcan 50 above me. So guys, thank you for watching, like and subscribe if you've enjoyed and would like me to make more Asphalt 8 videos, and I will see you later. Goodbye.